Welcome to the first Limb Yoga podcast. This podcast has been designed and adapted to help those already taking yoga classes and has been requested by those people. Please be aware that this is a voice recording only and that you will need to have had some experience of yoga before you do this podcast. I hope you enjoy the class. To find out more about Limb Yoga classes, go to www.limyoga.co.uk. We are looking at Otter this week, which may have caused the weather situation, I don't know. But it's almost rather appropriate that we're looking at an animal that's very good in the water as it causes rain. There we go. Right, it's going to be quite a flowy, watery class today. The chakra that connects into water is the hips, so we're going to particularly focus on the hips. Otters, I'm sure, have very good flexible hips. They look like they do. They look very bendy in general, don't they? They're very fluid and deep in the water. We're going to try and be a bit like an otter. So we will start lying down. So head on down to the mat. Find a nice comfy position. And then when you're ready, taking a deep inhale into the belly. And releasing and relaxing to the side. Inhaling into the belly. Exhaling to the side. Inhaling into the belly. And exhaling to the side. And then finding that yogic breath. You're going to inhale through the nose for a count of 3 or 4. And then exhale through the nose, releasing, relaxing the belly for 3 or 4. Inhaling to inflate the belly. Exhaling to release and relax the belly. And then breathing through our nose, if we can, all the time. 2 more breaths. Now we're going to continue breathing, but we're just going to start to add in this idea of water and fluidity. You might be able to hear the rain falling outside, noticing that sound of the rain on the ground. Rain, being a liquid, is able to flow and maneuver over things, down things, run around things. And that's because within the particles there are gaps which allow the particles to move around each other, flow around each other. So actually the otter and the water, the liquid itself, have similarities in their fluidity, in their ability to move around, flow around. We're going to try and find that flow within our practice today. Taking 5 more breaths. One more breath. And then taking a moment just to consider how you're feeling this afternoon, both within mind and body, and taking that into account within your practice today. And then we're going to flicker open the eyes. And we're just going to start by taking the arms out to the sides in a big T shape. We're just going to start by moving those arms. We're just gently taking the arms up above the head. And you can come and stretch through the body as you do that a little bit. And then taking them back down to the side. So inhaling as you take them above the head. Exhaling as you bring them down to the side. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then as we take them up above our head this time, we're going to stretch sort of opposite sides of the body. So we're going to pull up through one arm, find the opposite foot and pull down. So we've almost got like this diagonal stretch through the body. And then you're going to swap over. So like you're pulling diagonally in opposite directions. Slowly, gently, fluidly from one side to the other. Two more. Lovely. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a hug and massage out the lower back. So moving that hug. You can do some little circles, or you can rock from side to side. And we're going to take those arms back out into that T-like shape. And we're going to move the knees and the hips. So a bit like we do our reclining twist, except we're only going to land the knees for a little bit before we're bringing them back over and across. So we're moving constantly, but slowly from side to side. And again, trying, if we can, to find fluidity in that. So trying to control it and move gently and slowly. One. So last one. And then come back to the middle, back to the hug, and the little circles or rocking to and fro. And then that rocking is going to move to a forwards and backwards motion. And if we can, again, sleekly, smoothly, we're going to rock ourselves up to that seated position with the legs out in front. And we're going to inhale, we're going to take one arm up and over, coming into a side stretch. We're going to keep moving it. So we're going to take it back down and lift the other arm. Move that one over. Just as we're getting there, we're going to switch. So we're constantly moving the arms, flowing from one to the other. Just breathe as you're moving. Lovely. And then bring both arms down and behind. We're going to come down to the knees, and again we're going to take those knees gently side to side. Last one. So we're going to bring ourselves into that kind of deer pose that we do, where one leg comes in front and the other one behind. Lovely. As we start to warm up the hips, so we're just going to gently rock ourselves forwards and backwards. So this is always a really good one for fluidity in the joints, getting lubrication into the hips, which are that area of fluidity in yoga and water movement. Lovely. Two more. And then we're going to move ourselves down onto forearms and take that weight forward. So we've got the option, we can stack our fists, one on top of the other, and take some breaths here. And even though we're not moving parts of our body, you can still hopefully feel the lungs moving with the breath. So there's still fluidity and movement, even in a more resting position. Inhaling, pushing up. And we're going to come back into that side stretch. So bringing the arm over, coming back over the other way. Like we were doing in our normal seated position. And you'll feel that that slightly gives more of a stretch on one side than the other because of how the legs are. And then once you come back to that side where the knees bend, pop the hands behind. We're going to push those hips forward, lift the hips off, and push up using the strength of the arm. Taking some breaths here. Exhaling to lower down. We're going to swap over. So we're going to bring the back leg round to the front and the front leg round to the back. So the opposite way round. And then back to that gentle rocking forwards and backwards to lubricate into the hip joints. Last one. Then taking that weight forwards onto the forearm, stacking those fists if they're available. You can pop the forehead down, or you can bring the fists up to the forehead, whichever is more comfortable. And then tuning into that fluidity of the breath here, noticing the rib cage and how you're inflating and deflating that rib cage, noticing the fluidity of it. You might also be able to notice the diaphragm moving. And the diaphragm goes quite far down, actually down towards the hip. Biggest muscle in the body. Last breath. Inhaling to push ourselves back up. We're coming into those side stretches. Bringing the hands up and over and switching. Really trying to move fluidity from side to side. And then as you come back to the side where the knee's forward, that hand's going to stay down and behind, and you're going to push the hips forward, take the arm up, and take some breath here. One more breath. And then exhaling to lower down. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees. So bring both those legs around and turn the body over onto hands and knees. Just check in here in hands and knees that hands are nicely spread. We're stacking the joints. So we've got our wrists, elbows, shoulders all in line and our knees and hips in line. We're going to come into some gentle circles. Again, imagining water here, fluidity. That idea possibly of the water draining, that circular motion of water. And circling the other way. And we're going to take the weight forwards and backwards. So coming forwards over the wrists and then back, bottom towards heels. Almost like a rocking forwards and back. And then this time, as we come back, we're going to pick up the hands and come all the way up onto the knee. Lovely, bringing the hand to the heart. So, we're going to do 3 rounds of half sun salutations and trying to flow them as much as we can. So we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, come down onto hands and knees. Take that weight forwards over the wrists So you can bend down and lower all the way to the floor. And then you can come into a low cobra, or you can push up into a full cobra if you feel that your back can cope with that. And then come back through to hands. So whatever feels good for you. Inhaling and then pulling all the way back up to kneeling. Exhaling, hands come to the heart. Taking a couple of breaths. Tuning into that idea of flow and water. Again, you might be able to hear the rain outside, that sound, that pitter-patter of water. Second round, inhaling. Exhaling, folding forwards, coming down to hands and knees. We're taking that weight forwards over the wrists. We've got that option to bend the elbows, lower right down onto the belly. And you can come into your low cobra, or you can push back into a full cobra. And we're coming back through the hands and knees. And then pulling belly button to spine to lift ourselves all the way back. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Taking some breaths. Tuning into that idea of water and flow. Last round. Inhaling. Exhaling. Folding down and forwards to hands and knees. Taking the weight forwards over the wrists. Bending the elbows. Coming down to the belly. From that belly, you can do your low cobra, or you can push back into a full cobra. And then from there, pushing back to hands and knees. Belly button to spine. We draw ourselves all the way back up. Hands come above the head and then into the heart in gratitude. Taking some breath. Lovely. So from here, we're going to pop one leg out to the side. This is called Heaven's Gate, this position. And from Heaven's Gate, we're going to inhale, bring an arm up. And we're going to fold that over towards a straight leg. And wide stretch again. Inhaling, coming back up. We're going to bring both arms up above us. If we're holding a ball between our hands. And then exhaling, we're going to see if we can bring the opposite hand down onto the mat so that we're coming into a stretch there. We can put the weight down. Lovely. Inhaling, we're going to push ourselves up and up again. And we're going to do that with a bit quicker than we did it before. So we're taking the side stretch, coming up, holding the ball between our hands, and then coming down onto the mat. Lovely. Inhaling once more. Up with the hand holding the ball. And then over, so the hand is down onto the mat. And we're pushing up. So you have an option here now. You can stay here, or you can see whether you can lift up off of that leg and see if you can tuck the leg under. So you're coming into a side plank. Well done. Lovely. One more breath in. And then take that hand down so that you come into a down dog. Lovely. Take 3 breaths here. Lower down the knees. Belly button to spine. We're going to come back up into that kneeling position. So if you need to turn yourself up back onto your mat, feel free to do so. Okay, so we're going to come into that Heaven's Gate on the other side. So the other foot needs to come out to the side. Lovely, as long as you're doing the opposite to the way you just did, you're absolutely fine. And we're coming into that side stretch over the straight leg. Inhaling, we're coming back up, holding the ball in the middle. Arms above the head. 3 breaths here. And then taking the hand down to the mat, opposite to the straight leg. And the other hand pointing towards the ceiling. Taking some more. Lovely. So we're going to do all of that again. Inhaling to lift a little bit quicker. So coming into that side stretch. Over the straight leg. Inhaling, coming up so you're holding the ball. Exhaling. Hand down to the mat, other hand in the air. Inhaling, push back up, over the straight leg, side stretch. Inhaling back to holding the ball in the middle, both arms up. And then exhaling, hand comes down, and we're pushing up with the other one. So from here, if you want to, you can have a go at that side plank again. We're taking the bent knee, and we're seeing if you can push down and bring that bent knee in front of the other leg. One more breath. And then we're going to come into down dog. So we turn it over to the side and push down. Well done, lovely. Taking some breaths in down dog. Exhaling, lowering down the knees, and then sink the bottom back. And come down into child's position. Taking some breaths. Inhaling, pushing up to hands and knees, tucking the toes under, coming up to down dog. We're going to walk the feet in towards the hands, come into a forward fold, knees nice and bent, release the shoulders, release the neck, taking some breath. And then inhaling, we're popping hands on shins, coming up to a flat back. Exhaling, folding forwards. We're going to do that twice more. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. And then this time we're coming all the way up to stand. Again, flowing that movement, vertebrate by vertebrate. And then bringing those hands in to the heart. Taking some breaths. Find that Tadasana position with the feet under the hips. And then come through from those feet all the way up through the calves, through the thighs, the pelvis, ribs tucked in, shoulders out and down. Closing the eyes and taking 3 breaths into that mountain pose. Lovely. Then we're going to take the feet out so that they're mat distance apart, coming into goddess. So heels are in, toes are out, and we're going to bend down into goddess pose. Taking some breaths here. And then inhaling, we're going to take the arms up. Exhaling, those arms come round, we bend the knees again and come down back into the squat. Twice more. Inhaling, straighten. Exhale, come back down, bending. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, lowering the arms, bending the knees. One more breath here. We're going to transfer the weight over to one side and pick up the foot. Lovely. One more breath here. And then exhaling, transfer that weight over. Pick up. Transferring the weight. Picking up the foot. Transferring the weight. Picking up. And then transfer that weight back down, coming into that goddess squat. Lovely. Come out. And bring the feet back to Tadasana, coming to the top of the mat. We're going to step one foot back. We're coming into warrior one. So the foot is at a 45-degree angle to the back edge of the mat. And the hips face forwards. We're going to bend the front knee. We're going to inhale the arms up. We're coming into that position again when we're holding a ball between the arms. Taking some breaths. And then exhaling, we're going to bring those arms down, behind the back. Bring the fingers so that they're interlacing with each other. And roll the shoulders back and down. Really opening the chest here. Taking some breaths here. So we're going to bend the front knee a little bit more. And we're going to come into some flowing movement. So we're going to inhale to lower ourselves down a little bit. Take a breath. And then inhale to raise up. Okay, exhaling, we're going to lower back down. Inhaling to raise up. So it doesn't have to be a massive movement, this can be quite a small movement, but ideally we're trying to move with the breath and flow. One more. Release the arms, bring them out to the side, and then take the weight forwards now and see if you can lift off into an aeroplane lift. So we're lifting the leg up, seeing if we can balance. One more breath. And then the foot is going to come back down. And we're back into Tadasana. Lovely. Let's have a go on the other side. So stepping the other foot back into that warrior one. So that's at 45. Hips face the front edge of the mat. Knees slightly bent. And we're inhaling the arms up. And we're holding that forward. So the arms are slightly in front here. They're not directly above the head. We bring them forwards a little bit so that our shoulders can lower and the shoulder blades can come down the back. Taking some breath. Exhaling, those arms are going to come round behind, interlacing the fingers, rolling the shoulders back and down, opening up the chest. And then we're coming into this movement. So we're bringing ourselves forward. And then we inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. We're lifting back up, releasing those arms out to the side. And again, we're going to take that weight forward and see if we can lift the leg into that aeroplane lift. Lovely. And then bring that foot down into Tadasana. Have a little shake. Lovely. Coming to the top of the mat, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back to down dog. Taking 3 breaths here and down. Lowering down to hands and knees. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So working on those hips again. Knee is going to come to the wrist. So if you're starting with your right leg, it's right knee to right wrist. And then we bring that foot in front of the other knee. Slide the back knee back until we're into that upright pigeon position. Taking some breaths here. So when you're in upright pigeon, always have that option if you would like to, where you can see if you can grab that back foot. Don't have to, you can stay here. And then we're going to lower ourselves down onto forearms and come into sleepy pigeon. So again, here we've got the options. We can bring fists in so we can rest the forehead. Or you can stack flat hands, but have a little shifty in terms of working out what works for your body. Don't be afraid to maneuver and shift in pigeon pose. The idea is that we're really trying to flop and relax as much as we can in a slightly awkward, weird position. So anything you can do to help yourself do that is a good thing. So sometimes having a little wiggle, having a little move, checking in on what muscles are contracted and what muscles are relaxed, and aiming to get more relaxed. Inhaling, we're going to push ourselves back up to that upright pigeon. Bring the back knee in a little bit. Take that foot back across, so we're back in hands and knees position. And then we can come in on the other side. So left knee to left wrist. Bring that foot in front of the other knee and then take the knee back. Taking some breaths here in upright pigeon. Really trying to puff the chest, where that idea of the pigeon pose comes from. And you've got that option, if you wish, of lifting up the back foot and grabbing a hold if you want to. That just gives a different stretch. And then we're going to come down into sleeping pigeons. We come down onto our forearms. And again, we've got lots of options here. We can stack the fists. Yeah, the fists. Bring the forehead down to those fists. Or you can stack one hand on top of the other to create a little pillow. You can trial how far in you have your elbows to get yourself to the right height that's comfortable for you, folding forward. And our aim is to relax as many muscles as we can in this position. So it's quite a nice position to do a little body check. Are the fingers released and relaxed? Are the elbows, the shoulders, the back, the buttocks? Quite often people hold the buttocks in this position. Can you release and relax them? The feet, are the feet relaxed or are they tense? Tuning in to each part of the body and checking in on whether it's relaxed. And when you're ready, slowly pushing your way back up to upright pigeon. And this time we're going to sit our bottom down onto the buttock and swing the back leg round so that we're coming back to a seated position on the mat. So we're going to bring the feet in together and come into butterfly position. So feet together, sitting up out of the hips, and we can bounce, flutter our wings, those knees, as we try and open up the groin area here. Is what butterfly pose is really good at. So once you've done some fluttering, inhale, sit up, through the spine and then bring that weight forward so you can feel that stretch in the groin. Inhaling to come back up, we're going to grab the knee and the foot. And we're coming into rock the baby. So the knee and the foot become the baby. We can either hold them at the knee and the foot, or we can see if we can pop them into the crooks of the elbows. And then it's a gentle, flowy rock. And really good for our hip joint, lubricating that area. And then gently pop that one down and pick up the other one. So foot and knee, or if it's available, and just a gentle rock. Releasing and relaxing that foot back down. We're going to push down with our feet now. And bring the hands behind us so that we can come up into a tabletop position. Taking some breaths here. And if you want to pick up a foot and take it off of the mat here, or even pick up an arm and take an arm off, or take an arm and a foot off and see if you can touch them. You can have a go, set yourself a little bit more of a challenge. One more breath. And then we're going to slide the bottom back down and roll ourselves all the way down, back into that hug position where we can either rock or do some little circles. Lovely. And we're going to take both the legs and we're going to pop them so that they're flat down onto the floor. We're coming into fish pose as otters probably love to eat a bit of fish. So we bring ourselves up onto our forearms underneath the body, legs are out straight. And then we need to be really, really gentle with the neck here. We slowly take the neck back. So we're looking behind us. Taking some breath. And then just as careful as we were at putting the neck down, we gently raise it back up first. And then we can lower those arms back down. We're going to bring the knees back in again. And you've got an option here that you can either come into a shoulder stand, or you can just pop the legs up into the air. So if you're coming into shoulder stand, you're rocking yourself forwards and backwards, and then you're taking the hands under with the feet that come up into shoulders down. And then once you're there, feel free if you want to do some straddles or move the legs around, or you can come down into plough, which is where the feet come behind. So have a little play once we're up there, and feel free to lower down whenever you want to come out of it. And when you're ready, everyone comes back into that hug position with the knees, giving yourself one last hug, thanking the body for its physical practice. We're going to make our way into a position of relaxation. So get yourself nice and comfy. And if you need a blanket or a jumper or socks or anything like that, feel free to pop those on. Taking a deep inhale into the belly. And then releasing and relaxing with a sigh. Inhaling into the belly. And releasing and relaxing with a sigh. Inhaling into the belly. And releasing and relaxing with a sigh. Finding that yogic breath. And seeing if you can find a flow with the breath. Making the inhale and the exhale smooth. Flowing them in and out like the tide or lapping waves. Our bodies are made of 70% water. We are fluid within ourselves. Our joints need lubrication and fluid to move smoothly within their sockets. Our skin, without moisture, dries and crumbles. I'm going to read you now the poem Otter from the book that we've been working on this term, The Lost Words, by Robert McFarlane and Jackie Morris. Otter. Otter enters river without Otter. What a supple slider out of pulp and into water. This shape-shifter's a sheer breath taker, a sure heart stopper, but you'll only ever spot a shadow flutter, bubble skin, and never, almost never, actual otter. This swift swimmer's a silver miner, with trapped its oar, it bores each black pool deep and deeper, delves up currents steep and steeper, turns the water inside out, then inside outer. Ever dreamed of being otter? That utter, underwater, thunderbolter, that shimmering twister. Run to the riverbank, otter dreamer. Slip your skin and change your matter. Pour your outer being into otter, and enter now as otter, without falter, into water. When you are ready, slowly beginning to wiggle the fingers, slowly moving the toes, gently moving the head from side to side, stretching the body how the body would like to stretch. And then slowly making your way to a comfortable seated position at the top of the mat, with the hands at the heart and the eyes closed. Gently rubbing the hands together to generate heat. Taking those hands and cupping them over the eyes, opening up the fingers, blinking in the light, and then bringing the hands back to the heart in gratitude at your practice this afternoon. Namaste.